All right. Thank you. Thank you, brethren. Thank you, brethren, for joining me. Elijah, Mahalia, and Dave. Thank you, brethren. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for checking in with me. And anybody else watching the video, thank you. Fellowshipping with me. The pleasure is all mine. Absolutely. I love to try the opportunity to say something that will bless a brother, help you to follow the Creator, leave the world behind, redeem the time, that sort of thing. My name is Yaiqua Ben Yisrael. Let me begin my video by what we do, blowing the trumpet to summon the attention of the Creator and daughter of the Great Spirit. I think I before. All right, what a treat. Thank you. Thank you for checking in. Thank you for coming through. Good to see you. Let me start my video by the blowing of my shofar. You probably won't be able to hear me. I don't think my sound picks up my shofar, but let me blow it anyway to start my video. All right. Thank you, Creator. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to have this channel, to do the best I can, to be a light, to share things that are not commonly really being talked about in the world today, but only among a certain group of brethren. And brethren who are able to attain to the hearing of your voice. Creator, bless me, anoint my words, make me without vainglory, pointing attention to me, but help me to show that you're working, what you can do with a brother, and how you can make a brother sincere and want to try to be only about your will. Bless the brethren that look at the video. Give us wisdom, knowledge, understanding, peace, and protection while we are in the world. Creator, our only objective is to glorify you. We realize we don't have anything that we haven't been given. And so if you will bless this video and give somebody some understanding, then it will be well. It will be well. This is your word. Help me to share it. Brethren, thank you again. This is my channel where it's primarily for ministering to faithists, brethren who are being raised up now in the world for a very special responsibility, and that is to show the world the right way to go, the righteousness of the Creator. It's a tall task. And, I should scroll the screen. I forgot to scroll the screen. I want to scroll the screen and while I'm doing the monologue, so you might see something that you want to stop the video and let me make the screen bigger. I'm the type of brother, I like to share what I have, I like to share my life, things that I've seen, the Creator. I like to share lessons that I've learned based on what I have went through. Not all brothers are the same. I got a list of brethren in my trying to slow it to where it's really slow. I'm trying to thanks, Dave. Thanks, brother. I have a list of brethren in my description area for anybody that's new to this channel. And, we all got different flavors. There are other brethren, and I count them as certainly more academic than myself. I have more of an empirical view, vibration on me when it comes to the light. That is the, what's a good word for direction where I am going in my videos. I come from a very personal standpoint. I I've never been very academic until now, really. Meaning, I've never really been a big book reader. Never got into schooling, and although I did go to university, but that was for other reasons. And I'm just trying to share how the Creator, how He uses me, and how I was talking the other day about something called a parallax view. Parallax view, pretty much life is a parallax view. You see it your way. I see the situation my way. We see it from different points of view. But when you talk about the Creator, all things are meant to lead back to Him. Now, we looked at a video the other day. We looked at a story of a brother called Hog, Hog. After I did the video, I was led to revisit it and look at it and just take my time and learn from it. I punched it into AI, and I really I really got a lot more understanding about the story that we read the other day. And I wanted to go back over it a little bit and share it, and then also read the second part. And the Creator, you got to forgive me for talking about the glory of the Creator, because truly one thing I've learned is that, there's a special kind of beauty. Sometimes I talk about the signs and the zodiac signs, and the Creator, He's given me the ability to pick up on the zodiac signs and then use it in a way to try to minister to blessed brethren and to turn them on to their positive vibrations in hopes that they will sow to that type of spirit. Hi, Jamia, sister. Good to see you. So you're taking on the healing basket ministry, huh? Is that what you're doing? I think it's out of sight. I think you're perfect for it. I'm not there yet with the healing basket. I'm not there yet. I'm not on that level yet. I'm just talking about something we do on Wednesday nights, something of the ministry called Healing Basket. And I'm not, there are brethren who are really on that vibration of healings and praying. I do it, but we have a ministry, the Bible study I'm a part of. They do it every so often. And not yet. Okay, you're not going to do the ministry yet. And it'll be probably just a thing for some brethren to, into that side of the spirituality, And so really, I'm pretty much just talking to Jamia why I took off yesterday. I didn't stay for the study, and I can't. I'm not on that vibration yet, although I believe I'll get there. I'll get there. Let me see, Daughter of the Great Spirit. It's an amazing story. I couldn't stop laughing and crying. Oh, you were talking about Hog? Yeah, it was, man, we really blessed ourselves. Boy, we blessed ourselves. Nazarene, brother. Man, did you brothers see that video that Brother Fritz that he sent out? Was it Fritz or was it you, Nazarene? Nazarene, I think it was you. Man, I'm telling you, that video you sent me, that was one of the most powerful videos I've ever seen in my life. Nazarene sent me a video. He showed me a little girl. She was standing on her grandmother's grave. Do you know that little girl got on that grave, and then all of a sudden she looked up, and then she puckered her lips as if to kiss something, and then she started waving bye-bye to the air. Yeah, brother, that I don't know how to explain what happened. How I was just in a state of shock looking at that. We all believe in the spiritual realm. We all believe in things that you can't see, probably more than our brethren right now. But when you see it in real life, man, you're not ready for it. I'm telling you, you ain't ready for it, man. That little girl has suis in her. I'm scrolling the definitions here. When you get to suis, it's going to describe what I'm talking about. That little girl, she was standing on her grandmom's grave, and then all of a sudden she looked up and she puckered her lips like you getting ready to kiss somebody. Little girl, man, what was she about? Nazarene, but how old would you say she was? About 4 years old, 4 or 5? And she looked up and she puckered her lips like you're getting ready to kiss somebody. And then she started pointing or waving like bye bye. She saw her grandmother leaving. That was, I mean, you know what? You can't, I mean, you don't laugh, you can't cry, but you just, for me, I can't speak for nobody. I got to remember, I'm only speaking for, on my channel, I ain't really speaking for nobody else. I'm just trying to share where I'm coming from, share with you, how I see things, whether it's right or wrong. I'm on a learning mission. I get a kick out of trying to learn so I can say, I can run and tell my brethren. I get a real big kick out of that. I guess you can say the OAHSPE, that's right up my alley, man, because the basic message is, I mean, it ain't no good, man, to just, you know, bless yourself. Yeah, about 4 years old. Oh, it was her mom that she was standing on her grave? Okay. Yeah, she looked about 4 years old, man. It was very touching. That's the right word. It was a very touching video. And we are, as faithists, we believe in the things that you can't see already. We got that in us. The story of Hog, man, it was beautiful. It gave me a whole different outlook on people who maybe ain't on the level we're on right now. But they got they're under their own blessing. That's what the story of Hog was all about. That's why we're going to revisit it again. See, when it started out, you be thinking, oh man, I feel sorry for the brother. He can't get it. He can't get it. And then the creator, he turns things around and shows you, hey, wait a minute. The brother was blessed. We might say, oh, well, he's in unbelief. He's not a believer. But as it turns out, the brother was he ended up teaching us a lesson. You know what I mean? That's the beauty of the creator. He teaching you. See, the parallax view. I think there's a movie called The Parallax View. One of the things I think the creator is teaching me is that you have to be sensitive. You can't always see it the way somebody else see it. Yeah, Dave said Dave's seen it too. It says she was saying goodbye to her mother. However, the camcorder did not pick up the image of her mom. Thank you, brother. Yeah, I assumed that people knew that's what I was saying. Yeah, the camcorder did not pick up the image of her mom, but that little girl, she puckered, like you getting ready to kiss somebody on the lips, and she puckered up, man. And the image, the shot was somebody was standing at the little girl's right side, okay, sideways. The little girl was facing sideways in the angle of the camera. Like you looking at somebody and they're sideways to you. You're on their right shoulder and you're looking at them, right? And the camera was a little bit away from the girl. And then she puckered up. She was looking up and she puckered up and then she pointed up and it was no disputing. It was no fake, you know what I mean? Part of it, Yeah, daughter of the Great Spirit. The Creator made two great men, a believer, and that's exactly what I was sharing in the other day. The room, the fellowship, the faith is fellowshipping rooms. Yeah, he made two great men, so you're already on top of it, daughter of the Great Spirit. Yeah, see, parallax view, man. See, Jamia says, I think most children are 7. Yeah, I'm with you. You know what? I'm with you. And, you Pisces, I think you can get what I'm talking about more than probably, than anybody in the zodiac. I think you Pisces get stuff like this. I mean, the unseen world, that's a water sign thing. I remember my dad telling me a story about I can't remember very well. He said he was talking to somebody, or was it a story I read? I can't remember whether it was my dad or something I read where the girl, all I remember is that the girl was in bed, little girl, and then she told her dad, like, I'm afraid. And then the dad said, why? She said, because there's a monster under my bed. And so the father, now he didn't see anything, right? So as I recall, it's like he acted like he was chasing it away, right? Like he chased it away. Now he didn't see anything, you see, but he validated her. What's a good word for imagination? You know, he treated it with respect. You know what I'm saying? He didn't like, oh girl, you had too much pizza. You had too much Chuck E. Cheese. And just go just go to sleep. It ain't nothing. No, he respected it, see? Because I think children, they're on that level. I'm with you, Jamia, there. I'm with you there. And I think that it gets beaten out of them I can't say that. I don't know, but I think they got it, you know. Let me see. Daughter Grace Spears says, "I think the schools take away their." Yeah, you got it, I'm with you. Oh shoot, man! Every time I go to post my screen speeds up. These are the glossaries for anybody who's new to the room that I'm trying to scroll. Whenever I leave that screen and go to post something, it speeds up. Yeah, I think that man, it's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing what children. Wow, man. You know what I mean? I mean, the world that they come into, you know. I remember one time I was playing with my friend's daughter, and she must have been about what, 3 or 4 or something, you know. Yeah, well, Jamia, that's the Pisces thing. Caregivers. Do you know that one of the symbols for Pisces is the hospital? The hospital. That's their thing too, you know. Yeah, parents, of course, you know. The hospitals, that's the Pisces thing too. And Virgos, you know. But I think that, oh shoot, I lost my thought. I was saying something about the children in this world, and I remember this little girl, my one of my friends, his little girl. I went over his house one time, and she started climbing all over me, climbing up, on top of my head, and I was sitting there trying to talk to him and watch TV, and she was all up on my shoulder. She she closed my nose. She kept squeezing my nose and putting her fingers in my eye, and so I just kept looking at TV. And then my friend said, "Hey," he said, "Mercedes, stop, get off of him." I said, "Hey, bro, leave her alone, man." I said, "You better pray she stay this way. You better pray she stay this young. You better pray she don't never grow up." And the dad was a cancer. And something seemed to change him when I said that. It was like a little life moment. Like, you know what, bro? You know what? You are right. You're right on that one. You're right, man, because we looking at a world. I mean, look at what's going on in Gaza over there. And I wanted to speak about that a little bit. That situation over there. I'm telling you, brother, you may not care. You may say, look, hey man, I ain't in the world. That ain't got nothing to do with me. And I would say, yeah, okay, well, you may be right. But I'm telling you, brother, a situation is ready to pop that's going to affect all of us. It's a situation, and I'm with you, man. I'm not in the world no more either. I left it a long time ago. I'm with you. But there's situations that the Druges and the other word for the people of the world, the king's people, that's going to affect you. And you're going to have to decide how you're going to internalize the events that are coming upon our reality from a faith's point of view. I'm telling you, man, You're going to have to, that's the thing that if I talk about events in the world, you know, I know that you brethren that, you're not into the earth, you're not into the world. And I respect that. Let me see. Dave says, Uzians, thanks, brother. Dave says, yep, all children are born with suicidability. But when they get older, sometimes they forget because other people make fun of. Yeah, see, I believe that. I do believe that. I do believe that, man. It's Dave, he's another Pisces. When y'all start talking about the unseen world that way, I listen to y'all or any water sign because I think that's their vibration. My brother's a Cancer. I know he's got that vibration on him too to talk about things that I'm just not there yet. You know, the world of feeling and emotion. You know, empathy for people. They're just on another level that it's hard for our sign to get there at this time in history. But we each have our own gifts that, right now we in this situation, we're all jumbled and mixed up together and we're under, there's a vibration on the earth, there's the tetracts that it caused different vibrations of people it's a mix and match and, it's a square hole, round hole type of thing a lot of times, but we got a situation in the world where you brethren here, right here, we gonna be affected, all right? And we gonna have to figure out how we gonna internalize what's getting ready to pop. And I'm saying getting ready to pop, man. I ain't even speaking from a point of doubt. I'm talking about the situation with Israel and Iran. You brethren probably heard what happened. Now, I don't usually get geopolitical on this channel because it's out of place unless the video is over with and I open it up and it turns into a free for all if you want to. And so, but we got a situation unlike any other that's ever been in the world. We got a hair trigger situation going on right now, and it's going to reach unto us, the faithists. And we're going to have to decide again. I don't mean to be redundant. We're going to have to decide how we're going to internalize what the Creator is getting ready to allow the earth, the stage that He's getting ready to allow the earth to come on to. Because you brethren probably heard there was an assassination. It's like Israel, their mindset, their prime minister, he's a Scorpio, and that's the sign that's associated with death and resurrection. So I have no doubt that this man has been raised up to bring us to this point in the Cosmic era. Pluto going into Aquarius. Pluto, sign of death and resurrection. And now we got this situation going on. And that guy over there, that prime minister, he knows how to read people. He knows that he's got a free hand, man. He knows that they have bought the Congress and that the Congress is going to back anything they do. So he's under corruption charges, meaning if he don't keep that thing going, he's going to go to jail when it's said and done, when it's over with. His vibration, a Scorpio, their vibration is survival. That means that if he got to go down, the whole world's got to go with him if he can help it. All right? So he's in a position to affect the whole world. And what they're doing right now is they're just saying, hey, look, it ain't nothing. Yeah, you can feel it. You know what? That's a Hebrew entity, what you just got finished saying. What's the name of that tetrach that describes just what Elijah said here? There's a tetrach for that. Or it's called, it might not be a tetrach, because a tetrach is negative, but what Elijah just got finished saying there is there's a word for that in the OAHSPE, where it's like when a person says something is in the air, and the OAHSPE has a word for that. I'm trying to remember, I can't remember. But the situation is such that that prime minister, Netanyahu, he knows that anything that he does, we have to back him up. That means the United States. He got us. He got us by the short hairs. He got us by the short hairs. He knows that he can do anything he wants. His objective is he ain't going to jail. He's a survivalist. He cares for his own and only his own and his own family. No matter who's got to suffer, he's got the ability to bring the whole world into conflict. ESPOMA, there it is. ESPOMA, thanks, Dave. ESPOMA, brother. ESPOMA, yeah, what Elijah just got finished saying there. ESPOMA, a feeling that something is in the air, a foreboding. Yeah, so like I said, normally I won't say anything about the geopolitical situation. I have a geopolitical spirit because I like to see what the Creator said, and I like to see what men do. I learn from what I see people do, and I compare it with what I read in the OAHSPE. Basically, I try to take note of the light in men's lives. And the only problem, at one point I used to describe myself as a misanthrope. You better know what a misanthrope is. A misanthrope. I get the definition for you. Well, I'll just tell you because I'm trying to scroll the screen. I forgot to scroll. I wasn't paying attention. A misanthrope is a person who don't like people. And for a long time, I wouldn't share it. I never shared that, a lot. And up until I came into contact really with the OAHSPE, I just didn't, and you would never know it. But in my heart, I didn't know why I felt that way. And then really, the OAHSPE changed all that because it said that I was reading something, and I think I posted it in the room where it says something like, and it goes along with the story of Hog, what we're going to go into in the reading. The problem is that basically, to give a condensed definition of misanthrope, well, a spiritual perspective is when men are in it for themselves, and most men are. They have gifts, they prosper in the world, and then the first thing they do is point to themselves. And I picked up on that from I don't know how long, and it made me hate people. I really I didn't like being around anyone for a long time. And it started when I can't remember, it goes far back as I can remember. And now I've been able to identify why that vibration was on me. Not saying I'm better than anybody else, but I picked up that people are in it for themselves. And that's the effect that came off on me. In my heart, I despised people. There was very few people that I generally liked. This probably could be the same way with a lot of people, but the reasons are different. And I saw something, but I couldn't describe it, and that was it. It's the fact that men, they are vainglorious, vainglorious, have their own self in view, in mind, lack empathy, lack can only see. Maybe I don't know. It was the crowd I hung around. I don't know. I don't know where that comes from. But when the Creator told me what that vibration is, then it got lifted. And then you start looking at people differently. See, that's how the Creator, as you mature and grow, He can teach you a lesson. Matter of fact, He does it in the story we're going to read. You got to give praise. You got to thank the Creator, man. If you pay attention to yourself, if you examine yourself, he will teach you a lesson. If you're willing, the Creator will teach you a lesson, and then you'll change, you'll elevate, and you will on the inside of you. It's just that's what I mean when I say it's all good, man. Me and Dave were talking about that the other day. He was saying, no, it's not always all good. I see where he's coming from. But what I mean is what I should be saying. If you find the keys to the kingdom, man, one thing I know I can testify, if you find the key to, if you find sincerity and truth, you home free. You all the way home free, man, because I don't think you'll ever lose that vibration. But it's all good it can be all good for the unbeliever too. And most likely it will be. On this here channel here that I do, on this channel, the only thing that the really big thing is, man, whatever you do, don't do deity worship. Whatever you do, man, if I could say anything, do not do deity, don't do Christian, don't be talking about, worshiping Jesus Christ, worshiping Muhammad, worshiping Hindu. You know what I mean? Don't worship a living thing, anything born a woman. You see, Dark Shakespeare says, I thank the Creator for the person. Oh, I'm with you, sister. I'm with you. I'm with you, man. I am with you. I got to post that. You said it. You said it. Hey! Ace, you know what? I'm getting a little bent out of shape with this showing up to class late. All right? You that close, you boy. And it's a crime to keep a Leo indoors in the summertime. Y'all better pray for Ace and that, man, because it's going to be Saturday. The sun is going to be out, and she's going to be sitting inside a classroom. And she a Leo. You can't, it's almost against the law to do that to them. Leo, lioness, need to be outside, tail swinging all over the place. No excuse, man. See there? It's good to see you, sis. I hope you got my emails. So anyway, brethren, little, dialogue. Oh, shoot, it stopped scrolling again, man. And, the situation, we got a situation, and let me see. Ace says, yes, it's bad. I'm a free spirit. Yeah. Yeah. But we got a situation, I feel led to tell you, brother, that, we got a situation. We're going to, our world is, it may very well soon change. The Creator, he did talk about in the OAHSPE. He said he was going to decrease the number of the Uzians. He said he was going to decrease their numbers. And Uzians are unbelievers. But my attitude has really changed towards them by the reading that we did the other day. And the fact that the Creator, he don't look at them the way, I just speak for myself, that I used to look at them. They can be just as blessed as we are. They're there for a purpose, and they're there to teach us a lesson. Uzians, unbelievers. There are different types. Hog. In the story that we're going to read, Hog was an Uzian, at least for as long as the story goes. Uzian. And he ended up teaching everybody a lesson. he ended up teaching everybody a lesson, you know. So I feel really led to tell you, brother, what I told you so far as the geopolitical situation. I mean, heavy vibration on me. I believe that it's I believe it's incumbent upon me to warn you, to let you know of a possible change in our reality, and that we're going to have to figure out how to internalize things that are going on. And when I say internalize, I say we're going to be called, we could be called upon to explain to our relatives, to our children, to give them, to let them know what's going on. Already, we in a situation where you look at the reality that we live in, most people don't have a foundation. And that's a terrible thing. You don't have no foundation. That means when your world gets rocked, you don't have no place to stand on. You're going to be shaken. And who knows what will happen then. It takes only, if you look at the world, man, you miss a couple of paychecks or the bill become due. You know what I mean? You start getting the jitters, man. I don't see how you parents do it. Boy, I got the biggest respect for you parents, man. I believe me, wow, man. In this reality and the responsibilities, I have such a high, uh, opinion of parents. I mean, it's through the roof, man. And from what I read in the OAHSPE, they have a greater benefit for what they go through. See, we read the other day that Faiths, they were commended for going through life and being able to hear the Father's voice. They attained to it. It says they attained to it. They went through their life, they went through their affliction, and they were able through all that. See, there's Sardis right there. A materialized angel, a person whose presence the angels can take on mortal form. So I think I meant Sargis then. That little girl. That little girl was a Sargis, right, Dave? That little girl in that video that Nazarene is seen faith to share. She was a Sargis, right? She could see angels. She could see into the invisible. That's the best way I can describe it. You know. So let me go ahead and scroll the screen a little quicker here so I can get to my. I want to try to share a couple of verses that I have read, and let me share. Let me scroll it. Or Suez, yeah, there it is. That's what that little girl was. That was that little girl, Suez. Ability to perceive spiritually, sometimes used more narrowly, is the ability to perceive and or see or hear angels, spirits in their natural condition. Spiritual comprehension, clairaudience, clairvoyance, a person who can see with the eyes closed, or one who can hear angel voices, not imaginary, but that which can be proven by experiment. One who has clairvoyance is also called a seer. Yeah, that's what that little girl was in that video. Telling you, man. Hey, Nazarene, that scene. If you want, you can post it in the room. If you're able to, the video that you share with me so that other brethren can see it. All right, so there's the glossary right there. Now, here are some rooms, that fellowship rooms, where you can join, and you can, if you want. Let me see. Dave says no, Suez. If her mom came in Sargis, okay. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, because it would have been, the camcorder would have picked up. The camcorder would pick up her mom's image. That's right. Yeah, because they can appear in human form. Yeah, that's right. With all the details. It said, yeah, the camcorder would have picked up her mom's image as if she was still in the flesh form. Yeah, good point. Yeah, that's right. Thanks, Dave. Okay, so here's a room, Brother Omian's room, for brethren who want to, who fellowship. And then here's another room another room. I think this is my room for fellowship. And then there's another room. Um, see if I can find that real quick. Brother Omian's room, where if anybody is looking at this video, you can join in a place of fellowship and where verses are shared to try to bless a brother, just to help you encourage a brother, that sort of thing. All right, now let's look at a couple of verses where I shared just for you can't get me out of a book nowadays, especially with my discovery of AI and how to use it. And then here's the Bible study for brethren who are interested in, Wednesday, they have a Bible study. And in my perspective, I think it's beginning to pick up. I think it's picking up. I can perceive it will be picking up, more popular with faithists. Got a good brother that does the moderating, does the teaching, tries to involve brethren. So here's the information. You can check it out when if you're interested, just stop the video and then make a note of the things that I'm sharing here. All right. So that's that. Now, here's some verses that I pick out, read, and then I pick out my mom's food ministry, where I try to target orphans, disabled, and elderly, and brethren who may have food insecurities. I will certainly jump in and try to help out, man. I will. Here's my room right here. Here's some verses that you see Dave, he shared a video here. Hey Dave, can you summarize what Cal brought out on his video about origin? I didn't get a chance to check it out yet. I used to know a little bit about origin. I think that he was the one that popularized spiritualizing the scripture, meaning you read something and then you just fill it with all kinds of interpretations and you just say that it's spiritual so that somehow it's supposed to validate it. So something that I was sharing in the room. Oh, you got it. There's the video that I was talking about, brethren. Uh, brother Nazarene just posted it in the room here. I wonder, you know what? I'd like to even show it. Is it okay with you, brethren, if I take a second to try to show it? Do I have you, brethren, permission to do that? Because, every time I try to start dancing, something always happen, right? Okay, Jamia said, yeah. All right. Let me try to find it. Okay, here's Brother Nazarene. Okay. Man, I hope I can find it. See, I commented on it, but when it goes to your phone, I don't know if it goes to your computer. But let me see. Now, see, it didn't go to my computer. So I don't see it. You have to go to his link there. Go to he shared. No, let me see if I can do that. I can't click on that link or anything. There's no way I can. You know what I mean? I wonder if I can go online. Let me try that. I'd really like you, brother, to see this video. Bear with me. Would you let me bear with me for a second? Little girl sees mother tries to kiss her video. Little girl sees her mother in her spirit at her graveyard in video. There it is right there. Check it out. Got it. Here it is right here. Now check this out, man. Give you goosebumps. Okay. Now what do we got here? Continue without login. All right.
Were you waving at her?
As this little girl was about to leave her mother's grave, she began waving and saying goodbye.
Bye, kids. Bye-bye.
Her aunt was confused by the situation, considering they were the only two people at the cemetery. She steps up onto her mom's grave before leaning her head up for a kiss. She points and says goodbye one last time before going on as if nothing strange just happened.
Is that not something?
Were you waving at her?
As this little girl was about to leave her mother's grave, she began waving and saying goodbye.
Bye, kids. Bye-bye.
Her aunt was confused by the situation, considering they were the only two people at the cemetery. She steps up onto her mom's grave before leaning her head up for a kiss. She points and says goodbye one last time before going on as if nothing strange just happened.
Can you?
Were you waving at her?
As this little girl was about to leave her mother's grave, she began waving and saying goodbye.
Bye, kids. Bye-bye.
Her aunt was confused by the situation, considering they were the only two people at the cemetery. She steps up onto her mom's grave before leaning her head up for a kiss. She points and says goodbye one last time before going on as if nothing strange just happened.
How do you like that, man? You can't even say nothing. You can't even say anything to that type of video. Isn't that something? I mean, I know it ain't no words for that, man. I mean, we already know the creator is real. But when you see it and, I clicked off my screen. Hold on a second. Get my screen back. I don't know about you, man. That is just one of the most powerful things I've ever seen in my life. I mean, truly, man. That's, for people like me who are not used to, I mean, you hear stories of people talking about stuff like that happening. It leaves you speechless, man. Children don't lie. You see, Dave says basically Origin was a medium he had suits, but he got enamored with the Christian religion. In 1881, someone wrote a book through a medium who was in contact with Origin. Oh, okay. I think he was the father of like spiritualizing. I think that, Christianity, they used him because one of the famous ways of interpreting scripture is to spiritualize it. They call it spiritualize it, where you read it, then you just fill it with all kinds of interpretation that can't be validated, and became very popular. And so here's some things that I like to share. I shared some things in my room real quick, some verses I like to read. And here's one particular verse where it's talking about the Ammonites and Moabites. It says, when Lot departed out of Zoar, two tribes went with him. And they were born of the house of Lot, offspring to the two tribes who accompanied him. And these became the nations later known as Moabites and Ammonites, who were of the Phoenicians, as their name showed, and they followed the doctrine of Zarathustra. The Moabites and the Ammonites, at least originally, they followed the Zarathustra law. How do you like that? The Ammonites and the Moabites. See, the doctrines of the Zarathustra were followed by the people of Parsi, the followers of the Great Spirit, the Moabites, Ammonites. However, when you read in the Bible, they are the enemies of Israel. How do you like that? They are the enemies of Israel, the Ammonites and the Moabites. Now, I think what happened is that later generations, they might have turned to, I don't know, idolatry. And I didn't read that, but I really think that, somehow turned to Mohammedanism. Parsians, aren't they Arabs, Muslims, historically? They're described here as Ammonites and Moabites, and they were worshippers of Zarathustra, and they were also described as enemies of Israel. So, to me, it's showing you the corruption in the Bible narrative. It's like the Creator is showing you bits and pieces. Yeah, it's really true. The corruption you see in the Bible is really true. I really did allow it to be set up to deceive people, to test their heart, to see whether when I start speaking, whether they were going to hear my voice and get out of that. The account that we're going to read, the reading, it's going to talk even a little bit about that. Now, some parts of the reading are going to be a little dry, but I hope that you bear with me because I guarantee you the ending is going to bless your soul with the understanding we're going to get. Let me see. Dave says, yep, Brother Cosman did a great video on that. Okay, you talking with Nazarene? Okay. All right, so here's another verse. It says, nevertheless, the Creator created a great man. Oh, that's what the sister, daughter of the Great Spirit, was talking about here. Nevertheless, the Creator created a great man among them. I'm jumping in the middle of the narrative of the story of Hog here. That's where I got it from. It says, nevertheless, the Creator created a great man among these, and that is the unbelieving man. See? The unbelieving man. Creator calls him a great man. Why? Because he has neither silver nor gold nor house nor land, and he is without spiritual sight or spiritual hearing. But his glory is in understanding his own understanding. Meaning, there are probably brethren, people who claim to be of faith and have no understanding. The Creator is commending the unbelieving man because he won't budge until he's absolutely convinced. And then when he's convinced, he is a man of action. It says, he is the one, the unbelieving man. He says he is the one who subdues the forest. He tames the beast of the field and the man's service. He goes along in the dark, fearing nothing, does not follow the course of any man, but searches for himself. The priest cannot make him believe, nor can the angels of heaven. None can subdue his judgment. He sees the glory of the earth and manhood. He calls to the multitude, saying, why do you permit others, even priests, to think for you? Arise, be a man. Arise, be a woman. See? The Creator commends. He commends this man who convinces through evidence to his own satisfaction. See? Now you got a man who's convinced. All right? He's going to be truthful to his vibration. He's going to be convinced. And then Jamia says, let me see. I connected so much with the story of Hog when I read it. I didn't feel so bad about my journey. I felt like, yeah, me too. But in a different way. In a different way, I felt different, man. I felt a burden had been lifted. Because I don't have to look at people the same way now. See, that's what the Creator do. He lift your burden. For me, yep, that describes me perfectly. I didn't feel so bad about my journey. I felt lighter. Same way for me too. And that's what I'm finding with the OAHSPE. It's like, just like the scripture says, for me, my body is heavily afflicted, man. Many days I don't even want to go on. I just don't want to go on anymore. But then you want to stay because the Creator giving you a great opportunity to be. It's more fun to try to learn something and share it than it is for you to seek your own, think about your own comfort all the time. That's the great equalizer is the joy. And if you find something, you want to run and tell your brethren. That's the only thing that keeps me going. Only thing. And then the Creator, he make it harder because he tell you what you headed for. And you want that now. See? Remember the story we read yesterday? Hog. They sent this friend to him in the spirit. His friend said, look, man, you a knucklehead, man. This really me in the spirit. And it's all good for me. It's way better than where I feel sorry for you. Where are you at? You on the earth, brother. I'm up here. Free Chuck E. Cheese every day. Okay, Jamia, I'm gonna let you slide from here on out. I had to get them digs in, man. You know. My brother's name is Chuck. He probably watching right now. But I love that account, man. You know, with Hog and so let's go ahead and do the reading. I ain't gonna be able to do anymore. Okay, here's the verse right here. Let me at least do this. And then with the AI, it gives you an explanation. Try to give you an explanation in other words. So there it is right there. Can't go into it. Time for the reading. So let's go ahead and do that now. Let's have some fun. Now, it's going to be a little dry at first. But if you stay with me, I'm telling you, it's in the end, it's going to knock you flat. Some of you brethren already read it. For me, it's a big deal still. You know, so let's go ahead and bless ourselves. Let me see. Come on, let's share the screen. Why don't you let me share the screen? Okay, there we go. May the Creator bless the reading of His Word. This is, let me make the screen bigger. Okay, now I don't know what I put in the video. I think I put, the title of the video is The Story of Hog Revisited. Okay, now up here in chapter 19, we went through all this, all right? We went through all this, and basically it's the story of Hog, his unbelief, and he witnesses spiritual things, but then he doesn't. His brothers do, and they're testifying of the Creator. He doesn't get it. And then we got to the end of this account, and the Creator, he talks about how all men have not attained to spirituality, really. He says, all men who are spirituality may be compared to a man going up to the side. He often rises high, but suddenly slides low. They glorify themselves for their own light, wisdom, and good gifts, for rejoicing for self's sake, the glories that have fallen upon them. Now, that's the verse that I was referring to earlier, that it gave me the understanding to finally defeat being a misanthrope, a person who just did not like people. That was me. And that verse right there delivered me. Because the Creator, I found out, He gave me the reason why I felt the way I did. And the same can happen for you too. It should be happening for you, brethren, too. You should be getting something out of this reading, out of this word that'll change you. It should be breaking down barriers somehow, man. You know, a difference between believing and knowing. That's a great statement. Boy, you sisters, man. Y'all wisdom is unparalleled. I just have to flat out say it. I think that's y'all's gift in balancing out the male and female principle is your wisdom and the strength of a man. Although both have it, you know. But I found myself taking note of that. I love it. I love it. I love it, man. I love it all. Okay, now let's go ahead and read the account that. Now let me make sure that I didn't read this yesterday because I wanted to read the next chapter after it. So let me make sure that let me browse it a little bit. Make sure that this is not that. Okay, this might be what I read yesterday. Let me make sure because I don't want to read it again. Okay, I don't think I read this yesterday. Okay, I didn't. No, so this is what I want to read. So, may the Creator bless the reading of His Word, chapter 20, first book of God. It says, on the next morning, let me close the curtain. Hold on. Okay, good enough. Here we go. Chapter 20, first book of God. May the Creator bless the reading of His Word. It says, on the next morning at sunrise, Ormazzi spoke again through Brahma, and Vidi wrote down the words. And on the succeeding morning, the same. On the next morning at sunrise, Ormazzi spoke again through Brahma, and Vidi wrote down the words, and on the succeeding morning, the same. And so it continued for 40 days, and in 40 days, behold, the Vidi was completed, the holy words of Brahma were written. God said to Brahma, go now and preach my gospel to whoever will listen, proclaiming liberty to all who will follow you. I will be with you to the end. You should take Judith, your wife, and all your sons with you, even Hog, the youngest born. So Brahman went forth preaching day by day and exhibiting the spirits of the dead by night, but to the chosen he spoke at dawn in the early morning. The time the all light was upon him. And his sons also preached and explained, and Judith explained to all women how it was with her when she was pregnant with her sons. Only Hog did not preach, nor did he open his mouth before the populace as to his unbelief. In his soul, he said, these things may be true, and if they are true, it is well. If they are not true, still the believing of them by the populace works righteousness and goodness. He said, with all my philosophy, I cannot move the multitude to righteousness. That's an interesting statement right there, if you think about it. There's a lot of philosophy in the world about doing right, the wisdom in it, but it's ineffective. Here, Hog, he notices that the gospel, it moves people to righteousness and goodness. And that's the difference between the two. Hey, Mahalia, I like what you said, man. A difference between believing and knowing. That's a simple statement that people don't think about. That's pretty good right there, man. There's a difference between believing and knowing. I really, really like that. Okay, so it says, with all my philosophy, I cannot move the multitude to righteousness. But my Father makes them like a flock of sheep. They cease from evil. They practice good fellowship. Therefore, I will stand by my Father to the end. So here the brother, he concludes that which one is bearing fruit? Then that's the way I know which one is right for me, even though I might not believe it, Let me just look at the fruit, man. So now let me look at Christianity, see what's up with that. Well, we got wars, we got British colonialism, we got Catholicism, we got people fighting over land in the name of their God. We got people scaring the hell out of people in the sense that if you ain't good enough, you go to hell. Who wants that type of fruit, man? God is a God of war, and go kill man, woman, and child. If you just think for a second, man, do you want that? Is that the type of smoke you want for your life? You see what I mean? You see how the Creator, he makes religion look ridiculous, man. And you can't move people. But a faithist, they'll attain to the Father's voice even after they were soaked in this stuff. Bound up in this stuff, tied up in knots. And they heard the Father's voice, and they hear the Father's voice, and they got delivered from that stuff. It says, when Brahman came near a city, he halted outside the words because there, according to the law, kings could not restrain his speech. They couldn't understand what he was saying, so they wouldn't let him inside the gates. And the multitude came out of the city to hear him, and many did not return, preferring to remain with Brahma and his sons in their camp. And when Brahma moved to another city, they went with him. And in a little while, the host of Brahma were as an army of thousands. And not a few of them were men and women of wealth. And they cast their treasures at Brahma's feet, saying, "Take this trash. Take this trash, man, and give me everlasting life instead." But men of learning did not come to Brahma, nor did the priests, kings, magicians, or consultants or oracles. All the high society, educated, all the well-off, all the high society, the men of learning. See, they did not come to Brahma. The men of learning, man. You know what? The men of learning. Can I share something with y'all real quick that makes me laugh? Because I hate to say it, but it exposes the world. It's a funny little account, man, that used to make me laugh whenever I read it in the Bible. Men of learning, man. But when they saw that they were unlearned men, King James Version, perception, the perception of man, Now, we know the Bible has got a lot of problems, but here's an account. It has some wisdom to it. Now, here are Peter and John, and they're before some king or somebody. And you know how the world does, like the Bible, another thing the Bible says that's true. Man looketh on the outside, but God looketh at the heart. Now, here they are. They're standing on trial for their lives or something. They're giving testimony of Jesus Christ. Now, I don't advocate, I'm just using this as the principle is true. Now, the account, I'm not advocating for it, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean. It says now they're examining Peter and John, who's giving testimony, defending themselves, but they perceived that they were unlearned and ignorant men. It says they marveled and they took knowledge of that they had been with Jesus. Okay. So going along with the OAHSPE, it's the learned men that end up depriving their own self. They end up depriving their own self. I'm trying to share the screen. They end up their own ignorance, man. You're too smart for your own good. Humble yourself. You got too much education. You want to create, you too smart. You've been in school. See? You've been in theology school. That phrase just gets me, man. The men of learning. They did not come to Brahma. Nor did the priests, the kings, the magicians, or consultants or oracles. God said, take your host and establish them in families of tens, 20s, hundreds, thousands. Give a head father to each and every family. Your people shall be a people to themselves, having nothing in common with the king's people. That's the faithless community right there. Bunch of brethren, faithless, together, we take care of one another. We don't care what we got. You need it, it's yours. That's the way, that's the only way man can work. That's the only way. When you are your brother's keeper, for real, man, from the heart, that's the only way it can work. Praise the Creator, man. That's the only way it can work. Behold, my angel will go with you and show you the wastelands that those kings' peoples do not desire, and you and your people shall possess the land and dwell together in love and wisdom, doing good to one another. How do you like that? How do you like that, man? How do you like? So Brahma did as commanded, and he established the mountains of Rome and the valleys and the mountains of Rome. And his people dwelt there, big 6,820 men, women, and children. And there came to Brahma a certain captain general of the army of Sayataha of the west kingdom of Bennu, in which lay the city of Gausha Gamramas for you and me. The name is so hard to spell, can't you see? Gamramas is a name that's hard to say. Of 1,000,000 inhabitants, and he said to Brahman, in the name of the king, mightiest of men, saith Daha, I am before you, O Brahma. Behold, the king sends you gold, silver, copper, saying, Brahma is good. Brahma shall give me the blessing of heaven. Here, give him this money. He'll do whatever I say. You give him this money. Go ahead, take it to him. Pay him for the blessing that I know he's going to give me. Brahma answered the captain general, saying, Brahma salutes the king, mightiest of men, saith Daha, in the name of Ramatsi, the creator. In love and in these wise words that come to the soul of Brahma. Brahma sends the king's servant, who is the captain general, back to the king with his gold, silver, and copper, saying, deal with your creator and not with men. The great spirit holds all blessings in his own hands. Give him your treasures. The captain general departed and returned with his gold, silver, and copper to the king and told the king Brahma's words. The king was pleased with the wisdom of Brahma, but also felt rebuked and sore at heart for a season. And the king resolved to destroy Brahma and all his people, and he commanded the captain general to assemble together 50,000 men with arms ready for battle. And when they were thus prepared and started on their journey, which will require 7 days, the king thought to inquire of the oracle as to his best mode of success. Now the angel of God had taken possession of the oracle, but the Magi did not know it, nor did Sayadaha. So the king came before the sand table, and the spirit wrote these words. He who has become one with Ramadsi is mightier than an army. Take off your crown, O king, mightiest of men, and your golden robes, and all that is fine and fair to look upon, and clothe yourself in the poorest of garments like a drook who wanders about. He said, but your crown and your costly robes and your raiment, fine and fair to look upon, put them on your body. Put them on your body, servant. And the pair of you shall go in advance of the army as you come before Brahma. And you shall witness that man who possesses to labor for the poor fall on his belly before the man of riches and power. And behold, O king, you shall feel justified destroying him who falls before the crown and robes, knowing he is a hypocrite. Let's read it again. It says, and you shall witness that a man who possesses. Okay, so I want to read this again, so to emphasize what's getting ready to happen here. Let me read this again. It says, now the angel of God had taken possession of the oracle, but the Magi did not know it, nor did Sayataha. So the king came before the sand table, and the spirit wrote these words. He was become one with Ramazzi is mightier than an army. Take off your crown, O king, mightiest of men, and your golden robes, and all that is fine and fair to look upon, and clothe yourself in the poorest of garments like a drook who wanders about. But your crown and your costly robes and your raiment fine and fair to look upon, put them on your body, servant. And the pair of you shall go in advance of the army as you come before Brahma. And you shall witness that man who professes to labor for the poor fall on his belly before the man of riches and power. And behold, O king, you shall feel justified in destroying him who falls before the crown and robes, knowing he is a hypocrite. The king was pleased with this, and he fulfilled all that was commanded by the oracle. And when he came near Brahma's camp, a man came before the king's servant, saying, "Behold, O king, command me as you will." And he prostrated himself on the ground before the king's servant. At which the king, dressed as a druk, came to him and said, "Who are you?" And the man answered, "Begone, beggar! My matter is with the king," for he mistook which was which. The king ordered the man be seized and taken away and put to death. And the advanced guard fell upon the man, slew him with war clubs. And when the man was quite dead, behold, Brahma came, and the king did not know him, nor did any of his advanced guard. And Boost and Weish were with their father, and the three came and stood by the dead man. Brahma then took the king's hand, saying, "You dressed in the garb of a druk, come here, for you have flesh and blood toward holiness. Lay one hand on the dead man, put your other hand on my head, for I will prove Armatsi before your eyes. Behold, you who have tried to kill Brahma killed another person." And when the king's hands were placed, Brahma stood by the head of the dead man, and his two sons by the heart. Brahma said, "In your name, O Lord Armatsi, by your power in me, return to life, O man. Arise, arise, arise." And behold, the man was brought to life, and rose up and stood before the multitude. The king trembled with fear, and the guard stood aback, amazed. And as for the servant arrayed in the king's garb, he cast aside the crown and robes and fled into the forest. Brahma said to the king, "Here stands the angel of Ramatsi." And the angel says, "You are king in disguise. And moreover, that he, the angel, commanded you here for this purpose, saying to you in the oracle, he who has become one with Ramatsi is mightier than an army." So the king sees that he's the one that should die, not that he is the one that should be killed. And then the king said, "This is true. I swear before you, O Almighty, from this time forward I will wear such garments as these I have on, and my life shall be given to your service. Let who will take my kingdom and all I called mine." So Sayadaha joined Brahman's host, and with Sayadaha came his brothers, their sons and daughters, and those who came cast into a heap whatever goods or monies they had. And the head fathers of the families divided and distributed the same, according to their best wisdom. And Brahma's people, by commandment of Brahma, called themselves not Brahmas, but Vedans, that is, truth followers. In those days, the language of kings of Benhu and of men of learning was Alaho, signifying out of all that is good. But the Vedans were unlearned, and their language was imperfect and had many meanings for every spoken and written word. And God foresaw the liability to corruption of the Brahmin religion. And he spoke to Brahma, saying, and you know what? See, that reminds me of Origin right there. What Dave was sharing in the chat, the video that Brother Cosman did on Origin, without even seeing it, it reminds me of him talking about Origin here. Because if I'm not mistaken, Origin was popular for the concept of spiritualizing the scripture. Matter of fact, let me digress for a second. Let me check myself. See if the internet if it'll validate what I'm saying. Origin was popular for spiritualizing scripture. What did Origin say? Origin expressly states that should be read together. Okay, it's Origin further taught that there were three different ways. Okay, that scripture could be interpreted. Okay, so that's close right there. It's close, but it's not what I want. What was Origen's principal approach to biblical interpretation? He distinguished literal, moral, spiritual. Okay, that's a little closer, but he acknowledged this allegorical. There it is. That's spiritualizing, allegorizing, non-literalness, allegorical. That's what he was famous for. Origen's threefold sense of scripture was explained in a fourfold sense by subdivision of the spiritual sense into the allegorical, anagogical sense. What does anagogical mean? Anagogical. Anagogical means is an adjective that means relating or characterized by a mystical or spiritual interpretation of a text. All right, that's enough for us. So there it is right there. And that goes along with what we're reading here. The Brahman, it says that God, he foresaw the liability. See, because when you, what? Fritz, brother, we having a ball in here, Fritz, brother, Fritz, with a W. We having a ball, brother. We revisiting the story of Hog. And we in verse 24 where it says God saw the liability of corruption of the Brahmin religion. Why? Because he said that their language was imperfect and had many meanings for every spoken and written word. And that's what Origin opened the door up to, where you can read something, you can put any old interpretation on it and call it spiritual. That's spiritualizing. And the creator said that there's he sees liability, problematicalness in that. There's a problem with that type of spiritual interpretation. There is a vulnerability, there is a risk, there is a susceptibility, perhaps to the level of likelihood of probability. So it's a problem when you have the word is not clear. It says what it means and means what it says. If you have a whole bunch of different interpretations, there ain't no way that anybody can know anything. And it says God, he foresaw that. He saw the corruption of the Brahmin religion, and he spoke to Brahma, saying, behold, I have given you 7 sons, 6 of light, 1 of darkness. It says, your 6 sons of light shall each establish a school among my chosen, and teach my scriptures by word of mouth. And all afterward who become rabbis shall be capable of repeating every word of the Veda by heart, the oral tradition. He said, and if in later times the plates and the books of my holy religion are destroyed by war, it will not matter. The substance of your labor shall live. Then Brahma's sons did as commanded, each and every one becoming a teacher. And again, God spoke to Brahma saying, arise, go where my angel will lead you, taking your wife and your son Hog with you, and you shall travel from place to place for 2 years, and then return here for your labor will be completed. And then chapter 21, it says the place that's founded by Brahma was called Harayo, and his people at this time extended to 7 cities and 30 villages, and possessed all the country of Rome, which had been uninhabited for hundreds of years. And the Vedas cultivated the lands, living on fruits, roots, and bread made from wheat grown in the fields, but they ate neither fish nor flesh nor anything that had breathed the breath of life. Do you know that honey is not vegan. They say that honey is not vegan. Honey. Honey is not vegan. It's not part of the vegan diet. Honey. It says Brahma, Utub, and their youngest son Hog departed from Hara-Oyo, accompanied by 7 disciples, and went forth under the direction of the angels of Ormazdi to preach and explain the Veda, carrying one book with them. And they first went to the northeast through the kingdoms of OAHSPE, Aliud, Zet, and Wautuchiri, then westerly to Taquatra, where the tyrant Ozzy Avon had built a temple of skulls, like the ancients. Ozzy kept 6 dens of lions for devouring his condemned slaves. So because of oppression, the kingdom of Ozzy was profitable to Ormazdi. From Haitiquatra, Brahman obtained 3,000 followers. And when Brahma had 7,000 followers, the angel of God directed him to the plains of Sepenti Armati. And here he established people, dividing them into families and villages and appointing priests to them. And after that, Sepenta Armati became renowned over all the known world. After Sepenta Armati had been established, the angel directed Brahma to go to southwest through the kingdoms of Hespor and Viteo and Aramia, and then to Dakyama, to the city of Hertristi, where Ormazdi had a host of 1,000 already inspired to join Brahma. And now the angel directed Brahma to take his host to the mountains of Tikara to Virwa and establish them, which he did. And behold, the time of Utub and of Brahma was near an end, for they were grown, cried up quite old. The angel said to Brahma, "Great has been your labor, very great, Utubs. Where else in all the world is such a woman? From the day you first saw her, for the glory of your sons, and in her old age to follow you, walking so far. Behold, O Brahma, Utub is weakening fast. Rise up and take her back to Hara-Oyo. The mountains of Rome are calling her, and your faithful son Hog, strong and tall, take him back with his mother. Hara-Oyo is calling." Brahma went and looked at Utub, and his soul spoke within him, saying, "O Ormazdi, have I not forgotten her and you? The mother of my gods, oh, her proud young soul, when I first saw her, alas, I see she is tottering and feeble." Brahma came closer to Utub, and she spoke to him, saying, "O Brahma, you God among men, I do not know if my eyes are turning dim, but I've had so strange a vision, even toward the high sun. It was myself I saw rising, going upward, the earth going downward. Then I called, 'O Ormazdi, not alone. Behold, my God is over there. Let me go back to Brahma.' Then I thought the Creator brought me back and said, 'Go quickly and see your godly sons in Hara-Oyo, for your time has come.' Brahma said, 'My angel says, go back to Hara-Oyo. Your labor is nearly finished. This is why I came to you just now. It is well. Therefore, for us, it is well, therefore, for us that we return, taking Hog with us.'" So Brahma and Utub and Hog, with 5 remaining disciples, departed for Hara-Oyo, which lay a 3 days walking journey away, and they did not know how Utub would make it, for she was worn to the last step, and above all, her shoes were worn out, and she had only pieces of cloth on her feet. And while they were deliberating, having gone only a short distance, Hog spied a score of soldiers going in another direction, mounted on horses, and they were leading a number of spare horses with them. Then spoke the soul of Hog within him, saying, Behold, my father has made many converts in this day, made good men out of bad ones. He always refused money, gifts, and presents. Now, wherever justice lives, I do not know. But many of the rascals who became followers of my father were conscience stricken with ill-gotten gains, and finding that my father would not receive their stuff, they tried me. Finding that my father wouldn't receive their stuff, they tried me. And behold, my pockets are full of gold and diamonds. He says, in truth, it may have been a very devil. It might have been, in truth, it may have been a very devil that prompted me, but I am not supposed to know the higher life. He's got some interesting conclusions here, some interesting thoughts. He realizes that he doesn't have spiritual, he confirms that he's not spiritual. He says he's not supposed to know the light, so it's like he's excusing why he does the things he does. He says he acknowledges that he may be under the power of the devil and his unbelief. He says, in truth, it may have been a very devil that prompted me, but I'm not supposed to know the light. It's like I'm not supposed to know the light anyway. I'm only supposed to know the lower. He said, of myself and for myself, I do not want these things if they belong to OAHSPE, meaning the silver and gold. He says, it follows I should not keep them. Therefore, if I give gold or diamonds to those soldiers, they will give me a horse for my angel mother to ride on. Who knows, but the nearest road for this gold to find its way to OAHSPE is by way of those soldiers. So he has an interesting thought process about his inabilities, actions, interesting justifications for his actions. These are justifications for him taking this money when he saw that his dad wouldn't do it. And it wasn't the way of his father, but he did it. And now he sees an opportunity to do good with it. The Creator puts an opportunity, in a sense, for him to redeem himself, in a sense, by buying this horse so his mom can ride on it. He says, so Hog went away and purchased a horse and brought it to his mother, saying, behold, a man gives you a present in the name of OAHSPE, but forbids you to retain it except to ride to Haraoyo, where you shall sell it and give the money to the poor. So he's talking to his mom. He gets the horse and then he brings it to his mom. And he says, Mom, behold, a man gives you a present in the name of OAHSPE. So he's making, shading the story, in order to bless his mom. He says, but he forbids you to retain it except because he knows his mother wouldn't accept it. But forbids you to retain it except to ride to Haraoyo, where you shall sell it and give the money to the poor. So he's going along with the plan. And his thoughts still lead to light. He understands he doesn't truly own anything. That's a good point. Yeah, I like the way he's reasoning. It's very interesting, his reasoning thought process here. It's like he did something that he knows his parents wouldn't do. So the Creator he orchestrates a situation. In other words, to turn what was a little suspect into something that was very honorable. Like he's tested Hog's heart. And then you'd have said a good man he was. He doesn't know what Hog did. He says, you'd have said, or she doesn't know what Hog did. Then Yuta, Brahman's wife, said, a good man he was and wise, for only on those conditions could I have accepted the horse. Accordingly, Utub was mounted on the horse, and they proceeded on their way, going slowly, for Brahman was also near the end. And after 7 days, they arrived at Haraoyo, where they were received by Brahman's sons and by all the multitude of disciples. But owing to Utub's deep love for her sons, and also being worn out and having witnessed the glory of righteous work fulfilled through her husband and her sons, the strain was too much for her corporal parts. And they brought straw, laid her on it, putting a bundle of straw under her head. Then she spoke, saying, "First to you, O Almighty, blessing, my blessing, because you created me alive to enjoy your glories. Next, O Brahma, my husband, my blessing on you, God among men. You have taught me the fullness of earth and heaven. Oh, the glory of having been your wife." Then she called Weish and said, "Oh, my son, my firstborn, my blessing on you, because I have watched you from the hour of conception. I have had the wisdom of creation demonstrated before me. Oh, the joy when my eyes first saw you. I am going now to prepare a place in heaven for you." See, that's the confusing thing about Jesus Christ. He mentions both light and darkness. He mentions both light and darkness. I mean, he said the same thing about when he left, so far as the narrative is concerned. I go to prepare a place for you. So, verse 19, it says, "And after that, Judah blessed all her sons. Coming to Hog, she said, 'My blessing on you, my latest born, God among men.'" God among men. She's calling an unbeliever God among men. "To all my other sons I have told my love, but to you my soul overflows. I am nearly speechless. You have been a very God in all your ways, yet you do not believe in Almighty, the Creator. Yet you do not believe in Almighty, and He's the one with the highest praise." From Utah, his mom. She says, "But yet you have been a very God in all your ways, and yet you do not believe in Almighty." It says, "Nor in heaven, nor angels." Look at that, man. It says, "For which reason I look upon you as the highest of all creations. You are good for goodness' sake, wise for wisdom's sake, happy in finding a way to master all unhappiness." And these were Utah's last words. She shut her eyes, she was dead. So they took her body and robed it in white, and on the fourth day buried her in the forest of Rome. We're at chapter 22. On the day of Utah's death, Brahma said, "Sing no songs, pray in silence only, let her soul be in quiet where Ramazi." On the second day, Brahma said, "Pray in whispers, praise in whispers, the best good deeds of the dead." On the third day, Brahma said, "Burst forth a song of praise to Ramazi, extol the virtues of the dead." On the fourth day, Brahma said, in song and in prayer, "Bid the dead arise and go onward, upward." Thus, on the fourth day, they put Judith's body in the ground and then went and sat in the sacred circle and sang and prayed for her soul to go on to Nirvana, paradise. And when they had finished, the light came down in the middle of the circle, and an angel in white appeared. It was Udib, the soul of Udib, and the glory of Armasti, the Creator. Then the angel Utib spoke, saying, "The spirit is born from out of the dead, from out of the head of the corporal body, from out of the head, the Kether." Is it the Kether? The chakras of the corporal body, and the angels stand around where they receive the spirit of the dead and onto a spirit blanket. Well, a spirit blanket is it's like uh, It's not like a blanket like we think, but it's like I would describe it as see, it's I can't find the words. It's like something that helps you to realize. It's like a condition. It's like a vibration that helps you to adjust to being in the spiritual. It's like a covering that helps you to understand. Thank you. I knew you was going to help me, Jimmy. I knew somebody was going to help me. It's a spiritual receiving blanket. Thank you. I knew somebody was going to jump in. It's a spiritual receiving blanket, a calming blanket. Yeah, more for the spirit, I think, than for the, well, that's all there is. There ain't no more body. It says, for one day in quiet, they keep the spirit. For one day in quiet, they keep the spirit, teaching it to reconcile and understand. Yeah, just like we cover newborns. For one, and this will happen when Utah left. It says, for one day in quiet, they keep the spirit, teaching it to reconcile and understand. On the second day, the spirit hears prayers of the earth people coming upward. And on the third day, the spirit understands death and birth of the spirit. On the third day, it says that on the fourth day, when you sang, O Goddess, arise from the dead, the Father calls you from on high. Arise, O Goddess, go your own way, go your way. Then my spirit was free from the earth, resting in the arms of gods and goddesses who had come from high to receive me. You gotta know that this is talking about you, brother. Now, one way or another. Believe it. It said, thus, O my beloveds, the first resurrection is on the third day. And to the holy, the second resurrection begins on the fifth day. After the fifth day, do not call me back again. My labor lies up there. I must build houses for you all. Thus Ormatzi sends me on before. If it is his will for me to return to you at times, I will return. His will above all. This is the greatest wisdom. Weish, her firstborn, asked, what about the angels of the intermediate world, O mother? Then his angel mother answered, saying, they were shown to us in the even grove. Now, I can't go into that because I'm coming to the end of the reading. They were shown to us in even growth. Alas, some of them do not begin the resurrection for 1,000 years. How do you like that? The angels that they saw in even grove. It says, then Judith, the angel, came over near her. Then Judith, the angel, came over near Hog, her latest born, whom she loved so much. She said, can you see me, my son? Hog answered, no, I only faintly see a glimmering light. I hear a voice, but it doesn't sound like my mother's voice. Yet, if it is true that there is a soul that lives after death, and if in truth you are the very spirit and soul of her who brought me forth, do not be unhappy because of my unbelief. Do not be happy because of my unbelief. As for myself, I am happy because you brought me forth in unbelief, nor would I choose to be any other way. Whether our eyes are blue or black, or whether we are tall or short, believers or disbelievers, or however we are created to fill our place in doing good to others with all our wisdom and strength, is this not glory enough? Doing good to others, man. That's the only thing that matters that Hog is picking up. All that really, and nothing else matters, man. To strive to do good by others with all our wisdom and strength. And then he says, is this not glory enough? He knows that that's the only redeeming value. Hog, an unbeliever. And then YouTube said, "Oh, you wisest of men, in the day you are born in heaven, you shall no longer linger in the intermediate world, but be crowned a very God indeed." It's like this unbeliever is, if I'm not mistaken, he's going to jump the line. You know, it's like crash wrapped in clothes for three. That is, man, that's deep right there. That's deep, Ace and F. That's pretty deep. That's pretty deep. Wasn't he wrapped in clothes and 3 days in a tomb? So that's the lesson it was teaching us. See? Why does the Bible speak light and darkness, man? Why does it do that? That's what it was teaching us. Dave says, yep, ebb and grow. We're all except Brahma and Hog fled. Yeah, those are the spirits of the intermediate world. Yeah. They might have to hang out there for 1,000 years before they resurrect. 1,000 years, man. I hope it's not Earth time. So you'd have said, "Oh, you wisest of men, and the day you are born in heaven, you shall not linger among the intermediate world." You know, he wasn't afraid of them spirits. They had no power over him, so he was going nowhere near there. It said, but be very crowned a God indeed. Hey, Omian. I kept this chapter in my hall of research table for future decoding. Did you skip third resurrection's heaven? It sounds like it, don't it? She got received up into Nirvana. Isn't that after the bridge of Chinvat? Yeah. Third resurrection, doesn't that go up to the bridge of Chinvat? And the bridge of Chinvat goes into Nirvana? Yeah, she really jumped the line, didn't she? You'd have said, "Oh, you wisest of men, in the day you were born," and she said, "Oh, you wisest of men, in the day you were born in heaven, you shall not linger in the intermediate world, but be crowned a very God indeed. Here ends my labors with the earth, O my beloveds, and even above wait for me to ascend. The gods and goddesses are calling me. Farewell, my beloveds, farewell." Now the music of heaven descended, even while the mortals sang, the very gates of heaven opened, and the angel Udip rose upward in the sea of fire. How do you like that, man? The imagery. But behold, the love of great Brahma was too much for him. His eyes raised upward after the ascending light, and his soul burst within him. He fell down, stretched himself on the cold earth. He too was dead. Then burst the mighty hearts of Brahman's sons. The whole earth shook with the wail of gods. The wind, the air above the earth stood still, and the forests of Rome shuddered as if the earth were broken in two. Then wailed the sons and daughters of Haraoyo, though no man uttered it, yet all knew that great Brahman was dead. So I'm going to conclude the reading of the word right here. I didn't get a chance to get to this right here, where even more glory to the Creator is given. So I'm gonna get into this Creator willing on the next video, where Hog is going to take center stage. Or actually, let me see, it may be short enough where I can just do it now. Yeah, I think I can do it now. Okay, y'all hang with me for a little bit more if you can. I'm gonna read this. I can get through it. It says, the angel of God came in the sacred circle and stood in the center. He said, "Greeting in the name of Ramadsti. In his name I speak before you. First then, who of all that was dearest to Brahma, he or she shall arise?" Okay, Dave says, yeah. Nirvana is beyond the bridge, Chinvat. Brides and bridegrooms, the Creator go there to labor in greater fields of endeavor. So it sounds like They go all the way past the third resurrection, unless I'm mistaken. Do faithists go past the third resurrection? I don't think so, do they? That's really jumping the line, ain't it? Don't we got a process we got to go through before we can get past the bridge of Chinvat? Don't we got to go to school and learn all kinds of sciences and disciplines and rites and ceremonies before we can get past the bridge of Chinvat? It says, lo and behold, there arose every man, woman, child, more than 10,000. The angel said, you, his most beloved, shall bury his body by the side of Judith. You shall bury him on the third day after his death, even at the hour of his death, and you shall sit around the grave 3 times a day, morning, noon, and night, for 1 hour each time, singing and praying for the soul of Brahman. And you shall do this for 2 days. And behold, on the evening of the second day, you shall see the graves of both Brahman and Judith open, and their bodies will come forth. Brahman shall speak with you face to face. The angel then disappeared. And the people did as commanded, and they sat around in the graves in a circle at a distance of 10 paces from the graves, watching, and the brother's favorite hog above all the rest, so that he might be converted. And it came to pass in the evening of the second day, 2 hours after sunset, there descended into the center of the circle a light bright as the sun, so that the multitude held their hands before their eyes. It was so bright that even the graves could not be seen, and the graves burst open. And after a moment the light was lowered, so all could look upon the scene. And lo and behold, Brahma and Judith stood arm in arm in the middle of the circle, in their own flesh and bones, wearing their burial clothes. Look at that. Their own flesh and bones. Their flesh and bones. Doesn't mention blood. It mentions flesh and bones. Is flesh blood? I don't think so. Then Brahma said, have faith in the Creator. With him all things are possible. He is the all-master of all things. Never accept any God, Lord, Savior, priest, or king, but him only, the everlasting, all-one, the person. That's why this channel, man, is dedicated. One thing I'm firm on, the one thing that I know with all my heart, man, that I'm convinced of, don't do deity worship. Just whatever you do, man, don't do deity worship. I firmly believe that Creator is telling you the truth, man. You know, do not worship anything born of woman. Don't do it. The beast kingdom. Don't do that, man. You know, I believe that with all my heart. Don't do deity worship. He said, practicing good works to all men, abjuring self in all things, and Hermasi will dwell with you and in you forever. Do this, Creator will dwell with you. He'll dwell with you. He'll come and sup with you, man, the Bible says. And then it says, then Brahma and Judith came near Hog so that he could see clearly. Hog said, are you truly Brahma, my father, and you, Judith, my mother? Judith did not speak, but Brahma said, I am your father, even Brahma, to practice the highest flight a man has. This is all required of any man. See? Just practice your highest light, brother. That's all. Just do your highest light, man. You know, don't worry about trying to be, you know, don't you love it? Just be your highest light, man. You cannot lose. Just be your highest light. Hog said, in truth, it is my father. In truth, it is my mother. Brahma said, we are blessed. This is the first belief. To believe in the spirit surviving the corporal body, the second belief is to learn the all person. After this comes faith. Hog said, you have proven the first, but as to the all person, I cannot understand. Brahman said, as I and your mother have revealed yourselves to you and so proven ourselves, so in due season, Hermasi will reveal himself to you. How do you like that? How do you like that, man? You know, once that seed gets planted, it's just a matter of time when you germinate. Now you're going to germinate. That's the story of Hog. It's just a matter of time, brother. All that seed has got to do is germinate, even though you don't see it. That's all you got to do is just receive it, believe it, and then the Creator said, when it's time, then that seed is going to germinate, and you're going to start. That's when you're going to hit your stride. You're going to hit your stride, man. It said, these were the last words Brahma and Yuda rose. These were the last words. Brahma and Yuda rose up in the sea of fire, smiling and waving their hands in love to those beneath, rising higher and higher till they disappeared in the sky. It says, then the people went and witnessed that the graves were open and the bodies gone. They filled up the places and set a post inscribed, Tomb of Brahma and Yuda. God and Goddesses, end of the history of Brahma. Oh, man. And that will conclude the reading of this word. That will conclude the reading of the word, brother. I'm going to open it up. We're going to give praise and thanks, man, to the Creator. The story of Hog, man, and how the unbeliever is not to be looked down on. Just a matter of time before the Creator he plants. It's just his time. It's just not yet, but it will be. Man, oh, wow. Thank you, Creator. That was beautiful. The story of Hog, man. We witnessed his spiritual progression to belief, showing you. And, the Creator, he was using Hog. He said in one account that, yeah, Dave, that's right. Receive it. Yeah, that's right. Not just believe it, like what Mahalia was saying. Wow, I missed somebody. Tone Lowly. I didn't see you, brother. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, brother. I don't know if you're still here, but I'm glad you're here. I don't know if you know what the channel's all about, but it's good to see you. I hope you continue to fellowship and join us. I'm sorry for missing you, brother, when you came in. Yeah, when you receive it, you will know it. I like that. Yeah. See, Mahalia said the same thing, knowing and believing. I like that, man. I like what somebody said one time. He said, I remember, I used to go door to door, right, with a cult. And then we went to one door and the man said, yeah, I believe. And, it was obvious that he didn't, right? So the guy I was with, he said, look, man, he said, if your house is on fire, would you get out of it? And the dude said, yeah. And so that was, he made his point, basically showing him, then move then, man. Move, meaning get, set your mind, examine yourself, get on the spiritual road, don't speak and give testimony and witness to the world, man. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, take action in your mind, and then the body will follow. I mean, that's the lesson that Hog, he already had it in him. Hog had it in him, He took the money, he used it to buy a horse, he reasoned within himself spiritually, couldn't see spiritual apparitions, couldn't like the others could. But his mom said that it's like she saw that he was inherently, he was a good man. And he only had a missing piece. Let me see, Elijah. Endless ascension is inevitable. Yeah. Oh, yeah. From what I understand, that you read, oh, you know what? I didn't let me put the link in the room real quick in case anybody, I should have put that in before I even began. I forgot to do it. Yeah. And the Creator, he said, I mean, once you get to that stage, man, can you even imagine endless ascension? If the first resurrection, man, remember the story of Hog and his friend? His friend said, man, I'm happy here. It's good. It's all good, brother. I don't want to come back there. If it's good here, man, And the Creator talks about, you know what I mean? Like the first resurrection ain't nothing compared to the higher resurrections. It only takes a little bit for me to go ballistic to be happy. It only takes a lot, I have to be changed because I would bust open. You talk about something greater than something that's even a little better than this place. I mean, the earth, it has a glory of its own too, you know. The earth, if the earth is glorious, and then the brother tells Hog, hey, I'm happy where, you know, I like to think of my parents and relatives, man. They gotta be in the same situation, That's how you legislate the human heart, man. You bless it. You don't, 24/7 beat the hell out of it. The quickest way to get somebody to repent, man, is through it's got to be through blessing, love, kindness, charity, well doing. It's got to be the quickest way to break the concrete of a human heart. Let me see. Jamia says, y'all notice their title of God and Goddesses right after physical death? Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. God and Goddesses. Yeah. I don't think that God and Goddesses are, they did a great work on the earth, They did a great work on the earth. It seemed like they jumped the line, I don't see, first resurrection, second resurrection, third resurrection, Bridget Shinbat, Nirvana, God's Goddesses, I think there's a lot to be said, man, just to get the simple word, man, and just dedicate yourself to it. I think that we all of us got it in us naturally to do what's right, I love the way he used Hog, man. Showed him as the unbeliever, not able to see like the rest you may see. But his glory was greater than the rest of them, At the end, Hog. So we can't look down on anybody, I love it, man. That's a weight that's removed. And it just brings me back to the only warning: just don't do deity worship. That's the only thing I see with the OAHSPE that needs to be stressed. That needs to be stressed. It said them intermediate spirits. Those intermediate spirits, man. 1,000 years? 1,000 years, man. I don't know the particulars, but I know enough to know that I don't want to be in that condition. The fact that they're there, you know what I mean? Correct me if I'm wrong, You want to go there? You want to be associated with them? Elijah was saying the other day how spirits in this reality, they mask themselves. They can mask themselves. Yeah, I certainly believe that. I know that's true. I think we have to be deceived that way, or we wouldn't have anything. I think that they know that we would be powerhouses of faith in the sense that we would be 24/7 in prayer. You know what I mean? If the spirit, if it was revealed to us. There's something about Hog, man. He had no faith, and him and Brahma were the ones willing to go into the realm of the spirits, the evil spirits, to get the book. They didn't have no fear. I saw a picture of Faithus in the story of Hog. It's like they had let me see, Omi says, I want to be an archangel first. I want to be an archangel first. You know what? If it were, I'd like to go to the bridge. I'd like to go to Nirvana myself. To be honest, I would. What about you, brother? What do you, brethren, want to do? What would you, brethren, where would you want to go? Do you, I would be straight honest. You talk to me and describe Nirvana to me, tell me, and you don't think I want to go there. You know what I mean? I mean, some days on the earth, man, you know, there are places on the earth that you could go and, man, you know, like I live out here, I'm out in California, right? And a little north of me is a place called, see, you brethren have heard of it. See, Nazarene says, while my corporal body sleeps, oh, Jehovah, help my less encumbered spirit to see the ways of your righteous judgment. That's a good prayer. I like that, brother. I feel the same way. There are moments on earth that are like heaven. I'm with you, Jamia. Me too. Hey, if you're giving me a choice, there are places there are times there's like a little heaven on earth. And you telling me this ain't nothing, even to the first resurrection? There's a place up in Northern California. It's called the Sierras. I'm telling you, man, you go there, it's probably the closest you can get to Nirvana. Or I wouldn't say Nirvana, man. The first resurrection. I could say, man, I've been up there. I go up there from time to time. It take your breath away. Here on the earth, man. You, brethren, I know you've been to places like that. You know what I'm saying? Daughter of the Great Spirit says, I'm right where I'm meant to be. Yeah, well, we all are right where we meant to be. But if you telling me, if an angel came to me and said, Yaiqua, your labor is completed, brother. You want to jump the line? They wouldn't even be finished speaking to me. I would say, do I have time to make a farewell video? Can I have 30 minutes? The angel say, yeah, sure, go ahead. Do a live, bid farewell to your brethren, and don't say, make sure you tell them, I'll see you soon, as in they're going to be where you are. Dave says, we have a lot more learning to go before we can become brides and bridegrooms. That may be true, but I still want to go you gave me that choice. I know that that's true. If you asked any of us, every single one of us would go right to Nirvana. We would, man. See, let me see. Jimmy and Ace and Ants are talking. Okay. I want to ascend from the southern part of Africa. What difference does it make, Omian? I mean, I don't want to sound harsh, but you say I want to ascend from the southern part of Africa. What do you mean by that? What is are you drinking your cinnamon tea, brother? Let me join you real quick for a sip. Boy, man, I'm going to say it again. There's something to that cinnamon tea. There's something to it, man. I think there's something to that stuff, man. Something to it. It's just closing that wound. That wound on my foot is like, really, it's the Creator doing it, I believe. Daughter of the Great Spirit says, the highest is the highest. Yeah. Mahalia, we'll always be learning. Yeah. You telling me, if you put Nirvana before me, and there are times on earth that just blow me away, I tell you, man, people smoke weed, and that makes the world one hell of a beautiful place, man. To be honest, why do you think people smoke it? I'm not advocating it. Shalom, Elijah. Peace, brother. Thank you for checking in, man. Always good to see you. Got to go to work in the morning. Yeah, good to see you, brother. You know, because they want to get away. They want. They really saying they want to go to Nirvana too. You know. You see, Ace Man says, "Where did you get the cinnamon tea from?" Anytime you're talking about herbals, I try to buy it from the site. If I can't pronounce the name of the company and it's Asian, I get it from them. Sounds crazy, but it's true. I don't know where that stuff. It's some type of cinnamon tea. Uh, I've been really looking at Eastern medicine. Is that what you call it? I try to find out who's been what civilization has been doing medicine the longest, and it's the Chinese, if I'm not, or is it the Indians? Or not? I shouldn't say Indians, but the is it Venue? I think it's Venue. I forget. I looked at one of them to see who the longest civilization dealing with like herbals. I think I came up with China. Matter of fact, let's find y'all. Let's find out together, okay? Y'all want to do that? Let's let's look for ourselves. What civilization has the longest history of practicing medicine? Oh, ancient Egypt. How do you like that? 2600 BC. Egyptian remedy for kidney disease. Quick kidney cleanse. Sabi. He likes to do. He does diet. Egyptian medicine. National Institutes of Health. The so Egyptians. How do you like that? Well, what did I look at? What was it I was looking at? We see ACENAT says, my aunt ordered tea from China and it cured her gallstones. Oh, gallstones, man, that's the worst. Boy, that's the worst, man. My stepmom told me that was worse than childbirth passing them things. Yeah, yeah, man. American Medical Association. This is terrible. It shows you the level that men will go through for profit. The body. The body is the greatest source of profitability. Wow, man. That's it. Appeals to your uh, whatever your addictions could be. Then ASNAT said her doctor was so mad the money he missed. Yeah, I bet he was. In China, you don't pay the doctor unless you pay the doctor when you're healthy, but not when you're sick, from what I understand. Yeah, dandelion root. I'll say that the stuff that I'm taking is it's effective. I used to have weakness in my. There's been a lot of effects. I'm taking something called astragalus root, and there is a difference. It's supposed to be good for your heart or your kidneys, and you can. I will say this: you can feel it. It does something to you. I primarily look at the wound. I mean, the wound on my right foot is practically closed. The one on the left foot is like the size of, say, you take a dollar bill and slice it in half. It's about that size, but it's closing fast. And when I started drinking that cinnamon, I just, let me see. ASNAT says, how is that spelled? The cinnamon that, what? The cinnamon that I'm using? Hold on a second. Let me get the package. Hold on a second. Let me see. Mahalia says, all indigenous people practice. Yep. Yep. I know you're right, Mahalia. Depending on what grows in their regions. Yeah, the natives. Yeah, sour sop. I heard of that. Sour sop. But see, what I'm taking is working. See? Let me see. What do you want to know? The cinnamon, Asenath? Is it the cinnamon or something else? The other one, astragalus root? Astragalus root? Is that it? Hold on a second. Hold on. Let me go get it. Okay. This has a, when I got it, it was under a Chinese name. So evidently it went through American packaging. Let me see if I can show you. Or actually, yeah, I can let me see. I can just show you online here. Let me just spell it what I'm looking at. This is called let me see. This is called organic astragalus root powder. See, is which one is it? Hmm, it's not up here. It ain't up here because it works. Yeah, they got all of these spelled right, but that's not the one I'm. See, look here. Let me show you on my camera. See if this will help. See? Can you see that? Organic astragalus root. Organic astragalus root. And that's the picture. See? So I used to think, I think I got turned off to this stuff because I used to think that after a week, you know, you would be 100% healed back when I was younger. But you got to be consistent before you can start seeing results. You have to be, you know what I mean? You got to build up. It's got to build up a, you know, in your body. But one thing I can testify, it does something. I used to have weakness in my hands. I don't have that no more. My wounds are. I believe that's part of with the cinnamon. I'm more sold on the cinnamon than anything because I was taking the astragalus root for a while, and it was closing it slowly. But then I started taking cinnamon, and it just blasted off, closing my wound. Now, if I could just stop walking more, I mean, not get on my feet, you know, then I'd probably be, rehabbing by now. but I'm sold on herbals and roots. See, what are y'all saying? Nazarene planting seed. I mean, with what's going on in this reality, I'm telling you, man, I got to say it again to you, brethren. I got to tell you again, man, we in a situation in the world, okay? I don't have to tell you, but we in a serious situation, man. And I'm I'd like to warn you, brethren, that the Uzians, the Drooks, they're going to engage in things that are going to affect me and you. You're going to be affected, man, whether you like it or not. That's the way it looks. So the important thing is how we going to internalize the events of the world if they go sideways, like I think they will. Our only mission really will be to internalize where the Creator is in all this by learning and reading about what's happened in the past and getting the assurances that it will go well with us. Sensitive to what the how He will, what way we're going to get moved. So, okay, nobody has a word or wants to come on or anything. Then it's a good time for me to go ahead and close the video. So let's see. Tomorrow's Friday, so Creator willing, I'll see you tomorrow. Be on tomorrow, then weekend. So, brethren, I love you a lot. Pray that the Creator give us all endurance, give us wisdom, that we make the most of our time in this reality. That He put it in our heart that we're not serving a fairy tale, and that the story of Hog that will remain with us. That we could follow after Brahma and Yuddha. That if possible, that we could go to the highest light. We go to our highest light, the highest realm, follow after the footsteps of Brahma and Yuddha. I want to thank the Creator for this opportunity to be a light, try to do the best I can, operate to my highest light while I'm in this reality, for the knowledge that we share tonight to let us know what our fate is going to be too, and why you have made people the way that you have made them. So thank you, Creator. You bless us every time we get together. You just you can keep blessing us, and we need to eat every day. We got to eat this food every day. So, brethren, thank you for joining me. Join me again Friday, Creator willing, same time, same bat channel, same bat place. And until I see you again, peace be unto you. Shalom.